Hello, and welcome to Contractor Safety Orientation at ND Packaging in Sturtevant, Wisconsin. This is a list of the topics that we will review during this safety training. Additional training or proof of training may be required dependent on the work that you will be doing at ND Packaging. Your safety is very important to us. If you are involved in any incident, such as a first aid injury, a medical injury, a near miss, or a property damage, you must report it to ND Packaging immediately. We have an incident reporting form that may be used by you to report the details of your incident.
Pre-job safety meetings. An initial pre-job safety meeting will be held prior to the start of all projects or non-routine hazardous work. The pre-job safety meeting is initiated by the project manager or the area manager. During a pre-job safety meeting, the following will be reviewed and documented: the contact information of the person responsible for this job, the environmental impacts caused by this job, the potential hazard, and respective controls related to this job, the evacuation procedures, especially if contractors are involved, and any required permits. Finally, all parties involved in this job or project must sign this form. Emergency response plan. What to do in the event of a crisis or emergency. In order to respond as best as possible, we must first stop, think, stay calm, use good judgment and common sense. If there is an immediate threat to life, call 911, and please notify your supervisor. At ND Packaging, we have emergency response coordinators and assistant emergency response coordinators, or ERCs. The designated ERC is the EHS manager. The assistant ERCs are the supervisors and leads. ERCs are assigned specific areas. They will either help you evacuate the building, or depending on the emergency, they will take you to the weather shelter areas. You must follow the ERC's instructions. We also have medical first aid responders. They are trained on first aid, CPR, and AED. Their names are listed on all first aid cabinets. In the event of an evacuation, immediately use the designated evacuation route or the nearest available exit. If smoke is present, stay below the smoke while evacuating. Check for the presence of heat or fire before opening doors. Proceed to the assembly area, check in with your warden, and stay in the assembly area and wait until further instructions. And most importantly, do not re-enter the building. This is the office evacuation route map. The main employee entrance is highlighted in yellow. If you are on the east side of the office building, you can exit from the employee entrance or take the east side exit door, which is also highlighted in yellow. If you are on the west side of the office building, the main or visitor entrance is highlighted in orange. You can take this exit in the event of an evacuation or the employee entrance. Also note that this map shows the tornado shelters, which are both the women's and the men's restrooms. This is the production emergency evacuation route map. As you can see, there are exits along the perimeter of the building. Take the nearest exit to you and then go to the assembly point. There are two evacuation assembly points. If you take an exit that is north of the finish line or on the northern half of the building, then go to the assembly point that is on the north side of the property. Likewise, if you take an exit on the south side of the building, then go to the assembly point on the south side of the property. Both evacuation assembly points have a sign posted so that you know you are in the right location. In the event of a weather emergency, we have NOAA radios that will alarm and give us instructions on what to do and continue to communicate the status of the weather emergency. If we need to take shelter, we will go to the restrooms designated as tornado shelters. These are the restrooms, men's and women's, that are in the office area and directly outside the office area. If you are experiencing a first aid injury, notify your supervisor. Go to your nearest first aid cabinet and use the supplies necessary. You will also notice that there is a bloodborne pathogens kit at every first aid cabinet to use when required. There is also a blank incident report form. In the EHS manager's office, as well as the shipping and production office and the maintenance shop, we have additional saline solutions for any eye-related first aid incidents. Throughout the production area, we have strategically located portable eye wash stations.
ND Packaging takes workplace security very seriously, and we ask our employees, visitors, and contractors to help us in keeping our workplace safe and secure. We ask that you be vigilant, that you report any suspicious activity or unauthorized individuals to a supervisor, a manager, or to EHS. No tailgating or piggybacking. This means you must enter using a company badge issued to you or enter through the visitor front entrance. Do not allow others to piggyback or tailgate. That means to enter behind you. Do not hold the door open for other people. Remember, this is not about being polite. This is about following company procedure for safety and security. Do not prop doors open without authorization from the general manager. Notify EHS or maintenance if lighting in the parking lot is poor or bulbs need to be replaced.
Machine guarding. A machine guard is a barrier that prevents entry of any body part into the point of operation. Do not remove, alter, or disable machine guards while the machine is running. Lock out equipment properly before removing guards. Replace guards before startup. Do not override, bypass, or make any guard inoperative.
Control of hazardous energy, also known as lockout-tagout. You may be required to lock out equipment here at ND Packaging. You must be able to identify all energy sources to the piece of equipment that you will service or maintain. Obtain the ND Packaging machine-specific procedures from the area supervisor or lead or the maintenance department. You must follow the shutdown, lock, and test sequence as well as the restore to service sequence as outlined in the machine-specific procedures. The lockout-tagout equipment must be singularly identified, must be the only device for controlling energy, must not be used for any other purposes, must be durable, and be able to withstand the environment to which it will be exposed.
Burning, welding, cutting, grinding, or any work with an open flame or spark-producing device requires a hot work permit. Combustible and flammable materials must be removed or shielded, and the area must be cleaned within 35 feet of the hot work job. A proper fire extinguisher and a fire watch must be present for the hot work activity. This is the hot work permit used at ND Packaging. They may be obtained from the maintenance department. Different parts of the hot work permits are completed and verified by the permit issuer, the permit authorizer, the fire watch, and the fire monitor. 100% fall protection must be used when working at heights above 4 feet. A fall arrest system consists of a full body harness, a shock absorbing lanyard, and a proper anchor point. For aerial lifts, including scissor lifts and boom lifts, the operator must be trained and certified, and they must be tied off when operating the lift. Utilize the proper ladder for the job. All ladders must meet the OSHA standards and carry the ANSI label. Let's review the do's and don'ts of using ladders. Only use a ladder after you have inspected it. Use ladders in a safe environment free of clutter. Use ladders at a firm level base. Always maintain 3 points of contact. Stay near the middle of the ladder. Don'ts. On ladders, do not extend ladders while standing on rungs. Do not overload a ladder or carry loads on it. Do not overreach. Do not allow more than one person at a time unless the ladder is specifically designed to be used in that manner. Do not use the top 2 steps on any ladder. When working in front of doors, a safety cone must be installed to block the entry or exit. There are 2 types of conditions that warrant the use of temporary barricades. Red danger tape is used when there is an immediate threat of death or serious injury. Only individuals who are authorized to repair the conditions may enter a red barricaded area. The caution yellow tape is used when there's an unsafe condition that presents a lesser threat to injury. Individuals may cross the yellow barricade once they are aware of what the hazard is and take all the necessary safety precautions. The barricade must be positioned far enough away from the hazard so that, upon approach, the individual is not exposed to the hazard. A barricade must completely surround the hazard. Another way to control hazards at work is by paying attention to warning signs. Certain colors are associated with specific hazard messages. Not only is text important on a warning sign, but color is used to send a message quickly. The following are examples of the types of signs that you'll see at this worksite. Red on black on white sign marks an immediate hazard that could cause death or serious injury. Black on orange indicates a hazard that could cause moderate to severe injury or has the probability of causing death or serious injury. Black on yellow signals potentially hazardous situations that could cause minor to moderate injury. Green on white gives instructions and suggestions regarding safety. Blue on white informs personnel.
OSHA has created the Hazard Communication Standard to help ensure your safety when working with hazardous chemicals. If you will be working with or near chemicals or hazardous chemicals owned and/or maintained by ND Packaging, we will inform you of any potential hazards and will provide a safety data sheet upon request. If you are bringing a chemical on site, you must first provide a copy of the safety data sheet for the EHS manager to review prior to bringing the chemical or hazardous material on site.
Immediately report all spills to your supervisor and the EHS manager. If any material spills into a stormwater or sanitary sewer, report it to your supervisor and the EHS manager immediately. Contain the spill if possible. Clean up spills to prevent accident, slips, and falls.
Hearing protection must be worn where and when required by signage and in our areas of production. If you do not have hearing protection, contact your ND Packaging host for a set of earplugs.
The minimum approved eyewear is safety glasses with side shields or wraparounds beyond the outer end of your eyes. Please note that you may need additional protection as dictated by your task. All safety glasses must be ANSI Z87 stamped. No dark, tinted, or reflective lenses indoors. You must be able to make eye contact with forklift drivers. That means they must be able to see your eyes through your safety glasses. Rose tint for glare reduction is allowed. ND Packaging has a prescription safety glasses program with Safe Vision. Please contact your supervisor or the EHS manager for more information.
ND Packaging requires safety toe boots in all areas of the plant. The safety shoes must comply with ASTM 2413. The protected toe, which is required, can be made of steel or composite. Hand protection is dependent on the type of task to be performed. Where required, use gloves unless there is a higher hazard like rotating equipment. You must wear the proper type of glove for the job, for example, cut resistant, chemical resistant. When working with knives or sharp edges, ND Packaging requires that contractors and employees wear gloves that are a minimum of ANSI level 84 cut resistant gloves. Avoid rough or jagged edges, keep fingers away from pinch points, and visually inspect your gloves before use.
ND Packaging does not allow shorts, tank tops, mesh, half, or sleeveless shirts to protect skin from chemical heat and cut hazards. Also, no hooded sweatshirts or very loose clothing to prevent getting caught in equipment.
Hand and power tools. Maintain your hand and power tools in a safe condition. Power tools must be properly guarded when necessary. If you think you need to remove the guard to conduct the work, investigate if you are using the proper tool and notify your ND Packaging host. Electric powered operated tools must be equipped with proper grounding or be double insulated. All power tools must be equipped with safety brakes or interlocks or equivalent. Grinders must have the rapid stop braking feature. Trigger locks are not allowed. Grounding prong must not be removed from the three-way plugs.
A safety knife may be used if it is the only tool for the job. Your supervisor and the EHS manager will help identify the proper tool for the job. If a blade is used, cut-resistant gloves and/or sleeves may be required. Knife basics include the following: Always cut away from your body and know where your hands and fingers are in reference to the sharp edge. Keep the knife sharp, as a dull blade can be just as hazardous. Use the tool properly and use it only as it is intended to be used.
At ND Packaging, if you require the use of powered industrial vehicles, such as aerial lifts or forklifts, whether owned by ND Packaging or owned or leased by the contractor company, the following requirements apply. You must provide proof of training or certification for the vehicle that you want to use. You must wear the proper PPE and a seatbelt where applicable. You must conduct the pre-use inspection checklist, or for ND Packaging equipment, contact maintenance to verify the pre-use checklist has been completed. You must be aware of pedestrians in your area to ensure their safety while you are using the powered industrial vehicles.
To help control for electrical hazards, all voltage is considered dangerous. Only trained and authorized users will be permitted to open control panels. When working in panels, block off the required boundaries. Lockout-tagout procedures are required for work on electrical devices. Use appropriate PPE in accordance with NFPA 7DE. All extension cords must be in good condition. Damaged or frayed cords must be replaced. Electrical tape will not be allowed. When working in a wet environment, you must plug into a GFCI protected outlet. If unsure, a GFCI pendant must be used. If there is a problem, sparking or smoking, de-energize and report.
Housekeeping and safety are very closely related. When there are tools and cords and walking paths, these can present a tripping hazard. Spilled materials such as liquids or powders can present a slipping hazard. Please return all tools, equipment, and supplies to proper storage after use. Coil hoses and cords when not in use. Do not block aisles, passageways, eyewash showers, electrical panels, and/or fire extinguishers. If you must block any of this emergency equipment due to your work, please notify your ND Packaging host as soon as possible. Keep floors dry and free from spills. Pick up after work is complete. If you have any doubts, please let us know. If you have any questions about the safety presentation, please ask your ND Packaging host or the EHS manager. Pay attention to your surroundings, above, below, behind, and in what you are working on. Help us keep you safe.